Well. Who would have thought that an impeachment that was concocted in 3 days without any hearings or any care, that they were fully investigating the facts of what happened at the Capitol, who would have thought that this would inevitably come to backfire on the Democrats? But it looks like I think we all knew it was probably going to backfire anyway, but let's be honest for a second. New data that has just been leaked from an internal survey completely backs up this notion that the Democrats are insane. The voters see it. And listen, I know that they just won their big trifecta and they're making all sorts of plans, but they're already pissing the voters in battleground states off and they haven't even taken over yet. Can you imagine? I keep telling you guys that I'm actually not as worried about this as all of you. I'm really not, because I think that the Democrats are eating themselves. I think 4 years of Trump derangement syndrome have made them insane. And I really don't think they're going to be able to get their stuff together to be able to do as much damage as we think that they're going to. And I'm sorry, this just backs it up. This is new data. Voters want Speaker Pelosi to stop the second impeachment of President Trump and would rather see the punishment of big tech for censoring the president, according to a leaked internal memo from the pollster. So we're going to take a look at exactly what this internal memo says. But before we get into that, I just want to do a quick plug, folks. Listen, it is harder than ever as someone who does not subscribe to the insanity on the left to grow my social media platforms. People are getting deleted left and right. There's censorship. There's constantly this cloud over you of like, will I get banned at any moment? I've been very lucky so far, but I really want to make sure that I continue just to lock things down, and I'm asking for your support. If you would help me out by subscribing to my channel, giving the content a thumbs up, maybe leaving a comment to feed that algorithm, that would really help me out, and I greatly appreciate it. All right. Let's dig into this little leaked memo to see what the voters actually think. The results of our just completed survey of 800 battleground voters on January 10th and 11th, which matches the actual turnout from the November 3rd election, shows that voters are opposed to the impeachment and big tech censorship, and that they want a peaceful and orderly transition. Voters strongly prefer that Congress deal with fighting the coronavirus, not impeachment. How do you think they're going to react to the fact that it took Congress, or the House at least, 3 days, like 3 days, to impeach Donald Trump for a second time when there is no hope of having a trial in the Senate, and it took them months and months and months and months and months and months of dragging their feet and dilly-dallying and doing whatever it was to prevent the American people from getting another round of stimulus checks because they didn't want to give Donald Trump a win. I'm just saying. Voters strongly prefer Congress deal with fighting the coronavirus and not impeachment. Impeachment is viewed as a waste of time and money. Voters believe that the Democrats are playing politics and that the continuing to attack the president is making it worse. They also believe that big tech is violating free speech, and if they can do it to President Trump, they can do it to any American. And this warms my heart that people actually do understand the principles here, because a lot of times doing this type of thing, I feel like I'm living in crazy town. I feel like everyone around me has lost their mind and has forgotten things that we learned in like elementary and middle school. And I'm the only one speaking up and say, I understand what the slippery slope is. I understand that if big tech can ban the most powerful person in the world, they can do it to me. They can do it to you. Why is this such a hard concept to understand? I feel like I'm in crazy town, like shouting that into the void, but apparently I'm not the only one that thinks that. So their findings. 89% of all voters think it is important that President Trump lead an orderly and peaceful transition to Joe Biden. 70% say it's important. Only 11% think it is unimportant. And I'm going to be honest. I don't like the way Trump is behaving. Mike Pence is really showing up and being the adult in this transition. I do not like the way that Trump is behaving right now. I think that he has an opportunity, or had an opportunity, to actually show up in a leadership role, and he declined it. Listen, people think that people like me, we just you kiss Donald Trump's ass and like worship everything he does. No, I will criticize him all the time when I think what he's done was wrong, and I don't think he's handling the transition well. When voters are told that Joe Biden will be inaugurated on January 20th, but Speaker Nancy Pelosi wants Congress to impeach and remove the president in his last week of office, 60% of all voters say that is another waste of time and money. Only 40% agree with Pelosi. 70% of all voters think that Congress should make its priority this week dealing with coronavirus. Only 23% prefer impeaching Donald Trump. 74% of voters agree that efforts by Pelosi and the Democrats to try to impeach the president after Joe Biden is sworn in would be politically motivated to prevent the president from running again, stripping his Secret Service protection, and preventing him from having a presidential library. Only 26% disagree. 65% of all voters agree that the continuing to attack the president, Joe Biden, and Nancy Pelosi are making this worse and keeping the country divided. And I want to say something, too, about impeaching Donald Trump after he's left office. Listen, first of all, he would never get convicted in the Senate, dude. It's not a simple majority. They would need at least, 10 other senators? Because some Republicans, the rhinos in the Senate, have come out and say that they would impeach Donald Trump, like Mitt Romney, that goddamn turncoat. But they would still need to peel off about a dozen more Republicans. That's not going to happen. Donald Trump is never going to be convicted in the Senate, even if they do this stupid showboaty trial after he leaves office. But I'm going to tell you why I want them to. I really do want them to. Please, Chuck Schumer, please have a trial in the Senate for Donald Trump. You want to know why? It is going to distract from every crazy thing that Joe Biden and the Democrats want to do for weeks. And it will be a chance for Donald Trump's case to actually be presented to the American people, which he did not have in the House because they had no hearings. So please, Chuck Schumer, please do it, because Trump ain't going to get convicted. You're going to look like idiots, and the American people are going to hate you even more than they already do. 48% of all voters are less likely to vote for a member of Congress who votes to impeach the president. Ha ha ha. 80% of Trump voters and 76% of Republicans are less likely to vote for a member of Congress who votes for impeachment. Dude, Liz Cheney, I'm going to do a separate video about this. Liz Cheney is going to lose her seat in the House. She is going to lose her seat in the House. The Republicans in Wyoming just slapped Liz Cheney upside the head, something fierce. And the Republicans in Wyoming are very, very powerful. I'm going to tell you about that in another video. 74% agree that if Twitter, Facebook, and Google can censor and take away the president's right to free speech, they can take away the right of free speech for any American. Only 26% disagree. 70% of all voters agree that big tech companies like Twitter, Facebook, Amazon, Google, and Apple have too much power and need to be regulated to protect the freedoms and privacy of Americans. This is making me love the American people again and believe in their common sense and goodness. The president has a 49% job approval rating in these battleground states. Rasmussen found that Trump's approval rating went up after the Capitol. It went up. The generic vote for Congress favors the Republicans over the Democrats, 49% to 42%. Congress receives an extremely negative job approval rating, 28% approve to 72% disapprove. Nancy Pelosi's favorable to unfavorable rating, 33% to 59%. And Chuck Schumer's favorable to unfavorable rating, 27% to 51%. There is still common sense and decency in the United States of America. I can't wait for 2022 to see this bite the Democrats right where they deserve it. That's all I'm saying. All right, folks, if you enjoyed this video, again, I hope you'll consider subscribing to the channel. I also, because of all this insane censorship that's going on, I'm really working on building out my locals community, getting as many people into my locals community as possible. Locals is a private community platform where you will not be censored, you will not be banned. They do have some terms of service. You can't do overt threats of violence, you can't do porn, stuff like that, but I don't do any of those things in my community anyway, so it's all good. The reason I want to move to locals is because I fully trust that this is going to be a place where we are going to be allowed to have discussions, express our ideas in a way that we are not going to feel under the thumb of big tech. So if you want to join My Locals community, the information is in a little box right under me. You can create a free account. When you create a free account, you get all my videos ad-free. So you don't have to suffer through however many ads YouTube put on this video. You get them all completely ad-free in Locals. Now, in order to participate in the discussions and unlock the full features of the community, you do need to get a little bit of skin in the game. It's $5 a month. If you want to contribute more to support my work, you can, but the minimum is $5 a month, so really affordable for everyone. And if you sign up by the end of January using the promo code free speech, all one word, no spaces, free speech, you will get a free month to try it out and see if you like it. I hope to see you in My Locals very, very soon. It's a wonderful community. My Locals have kept me sane. I dearly love all of them. I do Zoom calls with them twice a week where we just banter and converse and share ideas, and it's awesome. It revives my faith in humanity just as much as this poll here did. But that's all I've got for right now, guys. I'll see you soon.